Let's go! Yo! An actual stream. Let's go. Today we're gonna be reacting to the Jimmy High Roller video. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's go. Let's get into it. Straight into it. Reacting to Bam's 83-point game.
Take a look at the best scoring nights throughout NBA history, and you will see a list of the greatest players to ever play the game. Jordan 69, Steph 62, Lillard 71, Luka's 73, Kobe Bryant's famous 81. It's the most coveted record book in all of basketball, a testament and historical evidence of the greatest nights in NBA history by some of the greatest players in NBA history. Which begs the question, what the hell is Bam Adebayo doing here with a mind-boggling modern NBA record of 83 points? Well, this, my friends, is the result of quite possibly the most egregious case of stat padding the NBA has ever seen. And despite
You honestly anybody stat padding this much? Like, come on.
Scoring the second most points in a single game in the history of the NBA.
I feel naked right now. This is looking really annoying. Like, bro, like, I need to put some clothes on, bro. Like, not like physically, but mentally.
Bam's 83-point night will go down as one of the most shocking and controversial games we may ever see.
I feel like it's really not that controversial at all. At all.
Today's video is sponsored by
hey, no free promo, no free promo. Hey, no free promo, bro, sorry.
By all conceivable measures, this game was a blowout. It's over. But with that being the case,
let it go, bro. It's over.
Why is Drew Smith attempting a full court heave while his team is up nearly 30 points on a piss-poor Wizards team? Well, he's not. He's trying to get the ball to Bam Adebayo, who is being double-teamed 50 feet away from the ball.
It really good, isn't it, bro?
79 points and absolutely no intention of
such a
subbing out of this game.
I'm selling so hard.
At this point, the only way Bam is going to add to his historic total will be at the free throw line, because Washington is now guarding him with their entire roster. And what started as a normal basketball game has now become a full-blown circus act. But it didn't start this way.
That means someone's gonna reach 90 in like 2 years.
The first quarter of this game,
Swear, it's
Bam
gonna be like,
Adebayo had 30.
it's probably gonna be Luka, Loki. Yeah, Luka.
Points, the second most points
Luka,
scored in the first quarter
Luka.
of a game in NBA history. By
Luka goes for
Bam
93.
had 43, already a career high, and the second most points scored in the first half of a game in NBA history. Going into the third, the Wizards still had no answer for Bam. His points still flooding in, both naturally in the flow of the game and ethically. By the end of the third, Bam had 62 points, which, you guessed it, is the second most points through 3 quarters in NBA history. Before the start of the fourth quarter, Bam's performance was already being celebrated by his teammates and fans. He had broken LeBron's franchise scoring record of
Didn't touch fucking Bron, bro. Fuck that
61. He set a new career high, and the Heat were blowing the Wizards out by 20. And it is at this point where Bam and his coaching staff are left with a decision. Stay in the game and build onto an already substantial lead. Leave the floor and sub out as the hero of the night. Or stay in the game and potentially chase the league scoring record.
It's my career.
Should they make? Well, it just so happens that I covered this exact predicament in my last video, where I asked the question, is it possible to score 100 points in an NBA game? The final verdict? Yes, it is possible. The only problem? The circumstances required to have such a game are so unlikely that we will probably never see 100 points ever again. Unless a player is willing to infringe on the integrity of the game itself.
Integrity of the game? Nigga, nobody gives a fuck about the integrity of the game, bro. Everybody's trying to... This is my career. You fast nigga, it's my career, nigga. Fuck. My nigga, fuck Kobe. Fuck Will. Fuck Kobe.
There have been many games throughout the years that had record-breaking potential, but for a few reasons, most notably the game being a blowout and the potential record breaker respectfully sitting the final quarter, there have been very few instances where a player was able to genuinely chase the record without any negative consequences. How did Bam Adebayo drop the most points in modern NBA history on a random Tuesday night in March?
Great respect to let him play. History of the NBA.
They were just touching this nigga, bro.
He gets fouled
by choosing option C and infringing on the integrity of the game. In what could have been a celebrated, memorable, and ethical performance, Bam and the Heat decided to go a different route. With about 9 minutes left in this game, Bam had this incredible and one, A blow-by followed up with this great acrobatic finish at the rim through contact, and an explosion from the fans in the arena. And after hitting the free throw, this would have been the ideal and historically acceptable moment for Bam to check out of this game. It was his 70th point of the night. Miami had the game all but wrapped up. And up to this point, all of his points were...
This nigga Alex Starr could not guard him, bro. He was just letting everything fly through. He was like a...
had the game all but
He was a child, bro. Bam was having his way with
all of his points were ethical, non-GMO, farm-raised buckets. But instead, Bam stayed in the game. And here is how he scored his final 13 points. Free throw. That's how he scored his final 13
face,
points.
Bro. This is Bilal, bro.
Free throw, miss three, layup, free throw, miss three, turnover, miss three, free throw, intentional miss free throw, attempting to manufacture more points, free throw. Bye-bye,
Womp
Kobe.
womp.
Hello, Bam.
Yes.
The most unethical game of basketball the league has ever seen. The Miami Heat spent the final 7 minutes of this game executing every conceivable tactic to manufacture more points for Bam Adebayo. Chucking up unnecessary threes, intentionally fouling the Wizards to get possession, even going as far as intentionally missing a free throw to try to get the ball back to Bam. And as a result, they were quickly discovering why Kobe's modern scoring record stood for so long and why no one can seem to match it, despite a number of players getting close. Because, wait, I actually already said this a week ago. Let me find the clip real quick. 100 points in a single game is possible, but the circumstances required to have such a game to justify one player taking that many shots and doing so without infringing on the integrity of the game is
integrity
so
of the game.
That we may
Nobody
never
cares about
see
that.
it happen.
Niggas don't. Nobody cares about the integrity of the game. If a guy scores 8-3, you're like, oh damn, he scored 8-3. You're not gonna be like, oh yeah, he shot a bunch of free throws. At least he has a record now. Now everybody's thinking, wow, goodbye, Kobe. We got Bam now.
And again. Ah, that's right. The fallout for unapologetically chasing out. Yeah. This is truly a definitive and timeless paradox of big performances. Historic nights like this have become less about can a player pull it off and more about do the circumstances require a player to pull it off.
Play the Wizards. Play the Wizards.
Circumstances
That's all you need.
virtually never do. This performance from Bam is not only proof of that, but it is evidence of what we all have known to be the truth. There are many players around the league right now who could go for 80, 90, maybe even 100 points on the right night if they set their mind to it.
Could Ant do it? I don't know if Ant could do it.
If it is their sole focus for 48 minutes.
I feel like he'd
if
break
the
the three-point
Washington
record if
Wizards
Ant
are on their
would do it.
schedule. But even attempting something like this would require a player to break the unwritten rules of basketball. And that clearly isn't worth the backlash of possibly pulling it off. It isn't worth it.
It's worth it.
So
It is worth
the
it.
fruits of Bam's labor? The second most points in a single game in NBA history.
Wait, Luka's game was fifth,
the
bro?
second most points in a single
Damn, I didn't know. What the hell? Oh shit.
game in NBA history. The most free throw attempts
The most free throw attempts? Yeah, damn, that's crazy. Dwight's wife. Bag, eh?
in a single game in NBA history. By far, the most free throws made in a game in NBA history.
Oh, free throws
and the
made
fifth
too?
most three-pointers attempted in a game. Oh, and he also broke the record for the most criticism received by a single player in one game. Now, if we ignore all context and what it
Give
took
that record to
get there,
Bron, bro. You know
according to
better.
the game score metric, which takes all the good things a player does in the box score minus all the bad things and spits out a number that attempts to reflect the impact a player had on a game. Bam had statistically the 6th best game in NBA history, which is unfortunate that it will not be remembered as such. In the last video, I used this chart to display the greatest scoring nights in NBA history and the pace these players were on to reach
This
their
is Clay,
final
right? The
totals.
yellow one's
For
Clay.
example, here's Luka's 73.
It's Clay right here, I'm pretty
here's
sure.
Booker's 70, Lillard's 71, here's Kobe's 81.
Oh, no.
And here is Bam's 83. Through 3 quarters, he was tied for the second most points all time going into the 4th. In fact, that and one bucket in the 4th quarter that I mentioned earlier is right here. All of his buckets leading up to this point were non-forced ethical buckets within the flow of the game. Bam had
13 unethical buckets? Let that shit slide then, bro.
Adebayo was playing out of his mind, better than anyone ever has in modern NBA history, even before all of these shameless scoring tactics were deployed.
Then you gotta let that slide, bro. Then he deserves the record. Come on.
Spurred all of this outrage took place here in the final 9 minutes of the game. All of this is now invalid because of this.
No, it is not. What are you talking about?
A week ago, I said the methods the Warriors used to get Wilt to 100 were outrageous and would never be used in the modern NBA. 7 days later, we're watching a center get triple teamed 94 feet out while
not
up
everybody's
with no
chasing the
admissible
record,
reason
bro.
for him still being on the court. I now
It's the same way. Oh, hold on. Fuck. It's just fuck. It's oh my god. Work. The button doesn't work. Anyway, it's the same way the person who broke like the 4-minute mile broke it. Then everybody thought it was possible, so they broke it. Now we're about to see like 10 niggas drop 90 on everything. Watch. I can't switch.
stand corrected. But I don't think these final minute tactics are worth discrediting this entire performance. 83 points is 83 points. Regardless of how you go about getting them, you still have to go out and get them. The irony of this whole thing is that I've seen a lot of comments about how this game was proof for some fans that Wilt Chamberlain actually did score 100 back in 1962, despite there being no
Anything
video
is
evidence.
possible!
If Bam can get to 83, Wilt Chamberlain could and definitely did get to 100. Which there's already a laundry list of proof from that game. I don't know why this would be the determining factor. But if Bam's game is being ridiculed and dismissed, even if the criticism is justified, then so should the mythical 100-point scoring record. Because the way that Bam got his points is the exact method Wilt used to get his. Like, literally, bar for bar. During the final minutes of Heat Wizards, Keyshawn Johnson intentionally missed a free throw in hopes that the Heat would get the rebound
His niggas block him so hard.
to get it back to Bam. This is exactly what the Warriors did for Wilt. The Heat also intentionally fouled while holding an insurmountable lead to get the ball back faster. The Warriors did the same exact thing to get Wilt to 100. If Bam's 83 points is invalid because of these tactics, then for that same reason, so is Wilt's 100. Not only did the two biggest scoring nights in NBA history deploy the most gimmicky, shameless tactics to pull it off, this is quite possibly the only way to pull it off. The only difference between Bam's 83 and Wilt's 100 is video cameras and an angry mob of critics online.
It's like Flight, bro.
Now,
Flight didn't have the cameras on.
Honest, I was thrilled to finally see a coach allow his player to chase a record and have himself a night that most players could only dream of. You want to know how many games I've watched that were spoiled by an early sub? A player being punished for giving too much belt to the opposing team. A 3-point party cut short because they were playing too good. Potential record shut down because it wouldn't be in good taste. If this is what it takes to make up for all the times I had to watch Steve Kerr pull a player from a game on the verge of a league record, then
Fuck
so
that.
be it.
Fuck that.
I am just as surprised as you that I will now see Bam Adebayo's name above Kobe Bryant's for the rest of my days. But to see Bam have the audacity to stay in this game, emphatically do what no one else would dare, was just as fun as it was shocking.
Yeah, we won.
By the
Yeah,
way,
we did
every
it.
single player,
Yeah.
without exception, would choose to stay in the game and chase a record if their coach allowed them to. This just happens to be the rare
Hey, what happened to that heat culture, bro? What happened to heat culture, bro? Spoltra, what happened, bro? What is this? What is this? Heat culture my ass, nigga. Fuck.
case where a coach did allow it. How can we blame Bam for doing something every player would do if given the chance? I don't know, maybe instead of putting all the blame on the man who just scored 83 points in an NBA game, we should aim that frustration at the team that allowed it to happen. Throughout this game, Bam attempted 43 shots, which is a lot. But you want to know who shot more shots in a single game? Kobe. And Kobe, and Westbrook, and DeJounte Murray, and Kobe, and Cade Cunningham, and Kobe, Chris Webber, Kobe, Brunson, Jordan, and Kobe.
Kobe, bro.
What
Holy
about
shot,
all those free throws Bam attempted? Those are the symptom of a team desperate to slow a player down, but can't stop him without fouling. It has been
the Wizards, bro.
decades since the last time a player chased points to this extent, let alone had a coaching staff that allowed him to do it. But as I previously mentioned, this feels like conclusive proof that the only thing keeping that 100-point record intact is sheer respect for the unwritten rules and the opposing team and the game itself. If Bam can go for 83, I can only imagine what players like Luka, Shea, Giannis, and
Luka is about to hit 93 points in the game. I'm telling you right now.
Looking at this for the foreseeable future, what are your thoughts on this game? Do you feel like Bam's 83 was legitimate, or did the tactics used at the end of this game damage the legacy of this performance and how we'll remember it?
It's like Bron's about to be injured.
So let me know your thoughts in the comments
Ree's
below.
about to be out.
Always,
It's be Luka in the
until next
gang.
time.
And Luka's about to drop 93 points. I'm telling you right now. Possible to score 100 points in a game.